getting the little blue.
I can
bars.
tell them when maybe I have to get home. I was gonna ask you something. Oh, did the selectmen meet last week?
No,
I didn't
They
think so.
didn't have enough quorum.
Again?
that's 2 meetings in a row.
They had,
I know Christine's out of town, but
Christine's out of town, one was
We are not-
definitely sick, and one, yeah,
Okay.
might have been 2 of them were sick.
all right. Madam Chairman,
Oh,
co-chair, whatever, assistant chair, vice chair, that's it.
oh,
Um,
I will call a meeting to order at 6:11. And I will read our rules again. Anyone who wishes to speak about a topic must request to be placed on the agenda by filling out an agenda request form and turning it into the town office at least 5 working days prior to the meeting day. The chairperson will allow 15 minutes for open discussion at the beginning of every board meeting. Anyone speaking to the board will do so in a civil tone. Yelling, swearing, or belittling is not allowed. Anyone doing so will be asked to sit down as a warning. If the order is not observed, the person will be asked to leave. If the person does not leave, law enforcement will be called to remove the person from the meeting and charges will be filed. Anyone speaking will represent themselves unless written permission is given from a person wanting to be represented by someone. All cell phones are to be turned off or put on vibrate.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, that means me too.
Thank you. I realized that I printed the wrong meeting minutes. I printed out January 16th. I have February 6th on the computer.
Yeah, I was going to inquire about that because I
Yeah.
thought we
Yeah.
had discussed Mr. Lau,
Yep, we did.
what you had found.
I clearly clicked on the wrong one and sent it to the printer accidentally.
Okay, we
Um,
will do it.
So I can read you the meeting minutes. For the meetings of February 6th, all 5 of us were in attendance. We opened the meeting at 6:07. We approved the minutes of January 16th. Brad moved to accept, Robin seconded, and motion passed. We had no CEO actions. We talked about having a comprehensive planning meeting on Monday, February 17th, which we subsequently did not have, but moved into today's agenda. And we finished our conversation on Mr. Lau on the previous as of January 16th. So we really didn't have too much to discuss at the last meeting.
Didn't we do it by Zoom also?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, yes, that's right.
Or,
Because I remember that, that you had, were able to contact
or some
the,
of us?
was it the Office of Cannabis Policy? and
Yeah, we got
Verify?
that.
Yep,
He does not need a permit.
correct. And I did talk to Kathy about it, and I did talk to the CEO as well. And shared with them what we learned, that these, just because they have a retail permit issued in the state, that's for tax reasons. That has nothing to do with their ability to have a retail store, unless it's under the Office of Cannabis Policy, which issues them a very separate permit. So we'll just have to be careful, look at the source of these permits, because I do believe the gentleman on Town Farm Road, where we asked him to go for this whole retail thing, I think we were forcing him down a path that he was not really licensed to do. Because I think he was, when we saw his retail permit, we're like, you have to have a retail stance from the town a permit from the town at that point, and really it was just a tax permit that he got. So,
Did we receive an update from the CEO about whether the Town Farm Road operation is still in existence?
he got feedback from the town office that said it was no longer in existence, and then he was been out of town. I don't think he physically went there to check,
Oh, okay.
but we could ask him to do that when he comes back. Perhaps the spring would probably be a better time to maybe go there and find out.
Is the same person still living there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But he's no longer, okay.
He said that he was growing elsewhere.
Okay.
So I've added the note that the meeting was held by Zoom. And that nobody else was in attendance. So really, we just did comp review for the most part.
Madam Chair, I move that the minutes be accepted.
I second it.
Okay. All those in favor? Yeah. Okay, we don't have any CEO, it's too cold for outside for anybody to do anything much.
So just to, as we're going down the old business piece, a quick update. I did send a note to the town office and Brian, chairman of the select board, to ask, hey, have you heard anything from the legal on our review for the ordinances
Right.
that we have
About
out?
that, yeah.
And I copied you all on it, but just for the record.
Oh.
He said that Kathy said she hadn't heard anything yet. Brian said he had talked to the attorney. The attorney said he's working on them. He should have them done shortly. When they're done, he wants to schedule a meeting to go over them with us.
Oh, the attorney would like to have a meeting with us. That's great.
Yep, which I don't know if that would be by Zoom or.
What ordinance is that? What is that one?
We had sent out,
I remember you showing me.
Cluster health?
no.
No.
Cemetery.
No.
Oh, yeah, we updated cemetery and we updated
Yeah,
one other one. Hang on.
look at me going, yeah,
I can find it in my sent file.
sewer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's the reason I started carrying the papers with me.
Mhm.
Right, and the cemetery was a pretty small change.
Yeah.
And the sewer was actually just updating, it was. We had a very old ordinance and someone had taken, the state had mandated, gave you like a template for an ordinance 10, 15, 20 years ago. And they basically took it verbatim. And voted that in, even though there were blanks, they were supposed to be filling in these blanks, they just left the blanks, so. We did something, we made sure the blanks were filled in, but we just looked at the most recent state recommended sewer ordinance, which was not very, very different than the old one. We just formatted it now to be consistent with our new ordinance formats, and filled in the blanks and.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
And the cemetery ordinance, didn't we see an example of that one as well? As far as some changes, some state language that we were put on notice of to be aware of?
We did, we had one of the former people in the town office had brought to our attention that she thought there should be other things in that ordinance that were not in there. So we started to put those in, and then in a meeting with the select board, they basically said, let's just simplify it, so they took out some of the language, we made it a little bit simpler, easier to understand. But I think they were asking about things like green burials.
Oh.
Which, yeah, we've had
Green
this
what?
conversation, yeah, sustainable burial, so
Being buried in the ground, kind of a thing.
No casket, no nothing, just wrap you in a sheet and.
what are the laws of, their state has laws about this now.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
wanted to make sure that people knew, and there was a question about procedure. So if somebody dies, like, who is the sexton? Like, nobody, I didn't know who the sexton was, and I've been here 25 years, right?
I don't know.
Who is this person and how do you,
No, I'm not,
Oh,
I just know.
but she knows, right? So it was just in the updated cemetery ordinance, it kind of outlines the procedure, basically. So if you have a deceased person that needs to be buried, where do you go to get information on a burial plot? Who do you go to get a grave opened legally? What about the state paperwork that has to get filed? Who does that? So all that's kind of laid out now. in the
oh, I
ordinance.
might, because I asked my sister that question, just out of curiosity. She said, oh, the funeral guy does all that.
Most of it.
Oh, okay, I'm like,
They do, but it was like, you just need to, I mean, I was just curious about the whole process.
yeah,
Like, what does a sexton do? What does a funeral person do? What if you don't have a funeral person?
what does, okay.
And the timelines too, about 48 hours. Because I had a discussion that I mentioned here with a family member who said, I'd love to be buried within 24 hours of this, but well, that's not possible, at least it's not possible based on these times. And I have to look back if that's even state required, but 48 hours minimum of notice before someone gets interred.
Oh, so you have to wait 45 hours minimum,
48 hours, I
48.
believe, or whatever.
48 hours.
Mhm.
And especially, with the beautiful weather we have here, burials are on hold.
Yeah,
Right, or the ground's
True.
frozen.
true.
I know we had my mother-in-law's was later in the spring, because the ground was frozen
Oh, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
at that time, and I believe there was cocktails involved, because that was for preference at the time of the actual term.
Yeah, my grandmother, my dad's mother, insisted whenever if she died in the winter, she was not going in the tomb, in the
Oh,
the
and the
vault.
vault, I understand, I've been
We
in
had to get a backhoe out there. She was buried in Carthage. I can remember, I was 12
Hmm.
or 13. I was really young. I think I was 12 when she passed away.
I know when my
Yeah, we had to dig it out.
dad's brother passed, it was like in November and cold, and God love my dad, he went out, and Uncle Junior was cremated. But Dad went out and built a small fire on said spot that was, and so it could be dug up.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Good for him. I can see your dad doing
I
that.
know. And he did not catch the rest of the neighborhood on fire.
That's even a good thing.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
God love my dad.
Okay,
Mhm.
so the lawyer is looking at those two.
Correct. And the part of the delay was because the town's lawyer had retired and the whole firm was closing. So there was nobody else in the firm
Oh.
to take over our account. So it took them a while to find a new town attorney, get them on board, up to speed, blah, blah, blah. So there's a long gap.
So every time we do one of these, we have to send it to the attorney to get looked at. Good, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing,
No,
yeah.
but then we also have to have a public hearing on these changes. So I was just asking because in my calendar for next week was
Mhm.
schedule a public hearing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can't do that yet because we don't actually have the ordinance in hand.
Yeah, I remember that from last meeting. yeah.
So I just thought I'd see where they were, and they said soon. So hopefully we'll get those shortly. So that's really old news. Before we get back to the comprehensive plan, just wanted to double check that just to let you guys know, you were not with us when we passed the solar ordinance.
No,
One of the things that solar ordinance did was limit the number of solar farms, commercial solar farms that could be in the town of Canton.
right, there's two.
Well, you
Yeah.
said you could have, was it one large,
One, the size that's behind the villa, and then
three
three,
medium,
yeah.
that we call them, which is up to or below, but like up to, but not including 1 megawatt of, I don't remember if it's which of the current, either direct current or alternating current, AC or DC, I can't remember which one. But anyway, you could have 3 medium ones. There was a proposed one which met that criteria, but was, I think, too close to the road or what, it had some other problems with the ordinance. It's over off Canton Point Road, right past the trailer park, on the same side of the road as the trailer park, where there used to be a sand pit
Yep, I know where
in
you're
there.
talking.
So in that area, whoever owns that land now wanted to lease that to a solar farm. The solar guys took a look at the new ordinance and said, we'll get back to you, and that's been about a year, maybe.
You're.
We did a
yeah,
site visit with the CEO
Yeah,
as well to see the area.
Yeah, we wanted to see, because you have to be so far back from the river and so far back from the road and the neighboring abutters and all that kind of stuff, and we had wanted to walk it and see what was out there.
So what happened?
Well, they took the new ordinance. At that time, we had a moratorium on any solar farms.
Right,
because
I
we weren't
remember
sure
that.
what was going on. So once they passed the ordinance, we gave these guys a copy of the new ordinance. They've been working with it, and they called this last week and said, basically, we think we're ready to submit again. Is the ordinance still the same? Like, yeah, it hasn't changed since you got it. And we just walked through some of the points in that ordinance, and he said they were gonna submit an application.
Mm.
So I thought maybe it would be here for today, but apparently they have not done so yet. So,
By the way, which ordinances do we have applications for? Maybe I have to ask the town office about that, but there is an application for that at least, right?
I
Solar,
don't
hopefully.
know, we have to double check. Let
oh,
me,
you mean an application fee?
no, there's
Well,
a,
an actual form.
no, there was an actual form that said, like, the name of the project, the size. It had a checklist, typically, I know we had one for
Yes,
other things.
we had one.
So who's the company that's gonna be putting the solar in is gonna submit it, or the owner
Yes.
of the property?
Aloe, so-
Well, it's called the Tonello,
I see it right here.
TONELLO Solar Project. I think that's the name of the people who currently own the land,
Oh,
or that's the name of the project. That's not the company I don't believe it's gonna
Oh.
submit it, but it's submitted on behalf of the project. Let me just see real quick, do I have that? here? Under solar. Solar application, permit review draft. So we have one, date of application, office stamp, application for a solar farm. Person, entity submitting this application, the application fees received, location of the array, map and lot number. CEO application review completed, planning board review completed, public hearing held. Application forwarded to select board.
Is that for the one that's up here behind?
This is a form, this is just an application.
Oh, it's application.
It does have a checklist that says the state application, state supporting documentation like wildlife impact, wetlands impact. So it gives them a checklist.
Oh, okay, and that's at the town office. Or-
I will double check. if we
I mean, and part of that is because of what I also, a little of the project that I'm need to work on, which is putting together the actual, so step one was identifying ordinances that require applications, but step two is designing applications
have that.
for people that need application.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is that your job?
well, I volunteered to do it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good guy.
I just checked the J.E. O'Donnell site
Yeah.
and Tonello is not a landowner, so that must be the
It might be the
company
name. I'll look at this.
submitting
He
the
emailed me.
application.
Where is my
If you do a
email?
corporate name search too, that could pop up that name on the main
I feel like
search.
Oh, it's Tonella with only one L. Sorry, my mistake. And it is.
What else?
Um. Stephen Barrett is the person who contacted me. And he is with, hold on. Well, the company that's doing the designing is called Cenergy with a C, CENERGY Power.
Hmm.
So that's the designer. Cenergy Power. Stephen Barrett is,
The owner?
he's still representing somebody else.
Oh.
He's with,
I'm gonna say. Tonello.
he's with Barrett Energy Group,
With what?
Barrett Energy Group. So these are all like consultants and designers and they're working the project. They're not the landowner.
And do we know which company is the one that will have the power, so to speak? I mean, literally power, I mean, electricity.
Right.
I mean, do we know?
I believe it goes, I believe it goes into the grid, right? Into,
CMP grid.
Oh, they're benefiting then.
well, it goes into the grid, whoever is managing the bigger energy grid.
And, but is there a company before you get to CMP that gets, that benefits from CMP? In other words, does CMP compensate another company for getting that power onto its grid?
Well, I'm sure they do. I don't know if that's Cenergy, if that's Barrett Energy. But I know those people that are managing, designing, building, constructing and managing the solar farm they're leasing the land from somebody.
Right,
Right? The
right.
landowner doesn't have anything to do with the details
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. They're just getting a lease.
And I'm sure we'll find out more once the application comes in.
Yep.
At least that was the case in the one behind Pinnacle Health and
Mhm.
Rehab.
Yep. That's such beautiful property was. I mean, it's too bad. I mean, not that it's too bad they did a solar farm, but it would have been a beautiful location for housing or something, but. Oh, well. But I do like the fact that it's not visible.
Yes.
I haven't looked up I don't even think it's visible from the lake road. Across from the lake.
It's not unless you're one of the if you're
Yeah.
residents whose backyard backs up to that.
Right.
Like Russ Tracy and Helen Martin, I'm sure. I know Russ Tracy, you can see it.
Right, now they could put trees,
Car repair place.
Oh, yeah.
they could put trees at the back of theirs, I mean.
Yeah, I went up there with the truck to get it inspected not long, and I didn't notice it. Still didn't. Maybe because I didn't go in his backyard though. I was just kind of by the garage.
If you drive in his driveway and go through his field, then you would.
See it, yeah.
There was
But
one
I don't recommend
gentleman,
that.
No.
there was one gentleman though who expressed concerns.
Yeah, that was
Hearing.
Mr. Bean and he's passed and his property, I think, so.
Well, the other guy,
He
he's one
owned-
house down from,
He owned the big old house.
Austin Ranks. house.
Yeah, somebody from Massachusetts bought it now. I was looking at it to buy it and to build a house there, but somebody already had bought it.
Hmm.
Yeah, oh, well. Life goes on.
Yeah,
It's a nice location.
Oh, beautiful,
Mhm.
and out of the flood zone.
Yep. Although I'm not in the flood zone anyway, but.
I'm gonna send that to everybody and just so we have a copy of the latest.
thank you.
And I'll send to Mr. Barrett too.
A chill, I was sitting on the tractor for 2 hours.
Well,
Well, if you're sick, you should not be outside doing that.
the
Well,
fuel,
Steve did everything, but it's just one section. He said, you gotta learn. I'm like,
the fuel furnace here is out of, is not working right now.
Mm.
But they had a repair person look at it, so we're kind of running off the heat pump.
Mm. That's pretty good though, in
Yeah.
a certain range, right? A certain range of temperatures.
Did we ask on this thing the amperage or the size? I mean, from a I'm trying to make all these forms now consistent. Excuse me, I'm just looking at this really quickly. So do we ask in here how big it is? Checklist, we don't, we need to put that in there. I mean, we ask for things like, can they give us a copy of their state application? Can they give us a copy of their state supporting documentation? Any evidence of state approvals? Comprehensive site plan includes the setback in the nearest building, any signage plans, any fencing and security plans, mowing, maintenance plans, decommissioning plan, community development or energy sharing plan, commercial ordinance requirements met.
Commercial use ordinance, man, you said.
Well, the commercial ordinance had also questions about, well, signage, noise, odor, I mean, whatever we had in our commercial ordinance. We just had a checklist here that, hey, does this also meet the commercial ordinance? Because it is a commercial property.
what was the question though about how
The
big?
size, we don't ask, I don't think we.
It's kind of important.
It is. So I'm just gonna insert that in here real quick.
So from the solar things, does the town just get the tax from the property? Do they get anything?
And the application fee.
They get
So I think it's-
taxed. Am I right on the property value of the land? But once, it's just like the windmills, it doesn't go up because of that.
Right,
Well, there's a question, because
Yeah, that's,
I talked to the guy who does all of our tax assessments
Mhm.
about, because there was a proposed quite large solar farm at one point.
Mhm.
And I said, how are those being taxed in different places around the state? And he said, well, you can do like the windmills, but we taxed it based on the cost of the equipment they put on there, but then that equipment depreciates every year.
right.
Right, so the valuation goes down, our tax revenue goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Or he said you can tax a solar farm based on the amount of money it's producing, the amount of energy it's producing, and the value of that energy. I said, where are their examples and how do we do that?
Right.
And I think he said he would send me some. I don't remember if I've ever gotten them. But the town had already put through an ordinance that said we don't want any big ones. But I said, before you do that, shouldn't people know what the trade-off is? Like, this could be $400,000 of tax revenue a year for the town.
Mm-hmm.
Versus we don't want anything like that in our town. You just should know what you're trading off. And I don't think we did that necessarily.
Wasn't that one pretty big up on the hill?
the bill,
The one behind
Not as-
I've not seen it, so I don't know. how
not
big it
as
is.
huge, the one, how many acres, this was close to 400
Oh,
acres.
400 acres, it's huge.
The one they wanted to do, those notebooks over there.
Where was it gonna go?
In two parts, part of it's gonna go in the old fairgrounds area,
Oh, okay.
that big field.
Yeah,
And the other half, or the other portion of it was gonna go up, not too far from the windmills. which you probably wouldn't see from the road driving down there, but you'd see it from across the lake, because you can see the windmills.
Yeah,
Mhm.
part of it was gonna be on the Cantville Dump Road. Right?
No, no.
Yes, cause Jim Austin owns that.
Well, that's he also owns down by Bradbury, owns a lot of the fairground.
But I thought part of it was to go on, I'm gonna say the dump road, Cantville Road there, cause the one on Canton Mountain would have been Waits.
Well, when I say the fairgrounds, that goes, it goes back.
Waits is a separate deal.
Yeah, I used to ride my Mustang.
So there's quite a,
Actually, both those locations wouldn't have been bad, but
I know. So anyway. So we have a, I'm just gonna add another bullet here that says, solar ordinance requirements met. So it's just really a checklist for us, things to check on. I think, does it say here, application fee? Application fee received, person submitting, location, map and lot numbers, blah, 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 blah. Okay. This has pretty much everything in it. So that sometimes the town office will say, hey, do we have an application fee for something such and such a thing, or an application? Like,
what is the fee?
the fee is, the town has a fee schedule now,
Oh, okay.
so you can get a copy from the town office of what is the latest fee schedule. It's got everything on it.
I'm trying to recall if we've done anything else that might add a fee that they don't have or now, or they really do. If they're up to date, remember when we had that sit down meeting to try to figure out,
Mhm.
talk through those things? I mean, it's set by the select board.
Ah,
A
okay.
lot of these, most of the time, if not all the
All the
time,
time,
the select board sets the fee.
Mm,
and we don't put the fee in the ordinance, because if a fee were to change.
Right,
then the
you'd have to
ordinance has
change a
be
change.
redone.
yeah,
But the selectmen are the ones that set the fee.
And there were, when we started this process, there were so many ordinances that no fee had ever been set. And so it was nice to sit down and try to figure out what those are.
I can believe that. That's okay, yeah. Better late than never.
Oh, yes.
It's going to Kathy and Aaron and Alex. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And it's going to each one of us too, so everybody will have a copy of it as well.
I guess Kathy and Kathy's receiving a copy of the change, so
Correct.
to ask about the size.
Yeah,
Okay, that's,
well, I mean, obviously their thing should say size on it, right? The application has to tell you in the permit they get from the state, everything, how big the
Oh.
thing is, but we could put it directly on the application.
Mhm.
Permit application, that'll be a quick and easy.
Yeah.
Glance. They're like, it's 0.9 megawatts or whatever, because I think we say 1 to something else is our next size up. Or whatever it is, they're in that medium. size.
Would you also have the number of acreage of how big it's going to be?
That they have to, it's required in there.
Oh, it is, okay, that's already in there. You're talking size of the
How much
panels.
energy they're putting out.
How much energy, okay.
Because that just tells us quickly, is it small, medium, or large?
Mm.
And it would have to be in part of their documentation
Mhm.
anyway.
Gotcha.
Honestly. Okay.
We haven't heard anything from, well, the Canton Historical Society. I guess it's not on our agenda tonight, so anyway, I don't want to speak of anything that's not on the agenda. But it wasn't
We
sure.
have to wait for warmer weather.
For what?
Oh,
The Historical Society would like to, we're going to apply for a grant to put a real handicap ramp in,
Oh,
but because of the lot size, it would have to go in the back door, obviously. And with the, setback, we'd have to have a variance.
mm,
Because there's not much between that back door and the property owner.
mm,
But the gentleman cannot come measure for certain facts until he can see the ground.
yeah. And that's kind of important.
Yeah,
put in a nice little lift so someone can ride up.
No. by law, you have to have it a certain grade, and then you come in that back door, and that's where the battery chair is, to
Oh,
take
oh.
you upstairs.
Okay, yeah.
Is there already a chair there?
Yes.
Oh.
A new one. Yeah,
Oh, very cool.
yeah. Need to come in and see the building, there's been a lot of upgrades done.
Yeah, I haven't been in.
There'll be a cookie class, decorating class there Saturday afternoon if you want to stop by.
Oh, okay, Saturday, afternoon, cookie class.
Okay. So really, we are just gonna talk about the comp plan,
I have something that's not on the agenda I'd like to add.
okay?
It's budget time of the year,
Mhm.
so we need to get that worked out. Town Budget Committee has not been appointed yet or met,
Hmm.
obviously. But that's something we need to get, and, our report to put in the town report, Kathy would like that as soon as we can.
We can do that pretty quickly, but I should put it up on the screen, because you've not seen our town report that we submitted to the, well, it's in the annual,
Town report.
it's in the town report, there's a page that says planning board
Yeah, I read it.
report for the year. Okay, we just write that up real quick for them.
Have you done that? You haven't done this year's. I mean,
Correct,
yeah.
correct. Budget, let me go back to planning board.
How does the planning board have to do with the comprehensive or the planning, no, we know, the budget?
We need to put in a request to the budget committee.
Yes.
For
How much you want?
what's allocated to us every year.
Oh, okay, I wasn't understanding.
For our pay, for
Yeah.
materials, for,
Choose,
So I can put this up on the screen so you can all see it at the same time.
do you, who takes care of how much is spent every year? Kathy?
the town has a treasurer.
Yeah.
Tricia
Thank you.
Patna.
Yes.
Does that.
So, I mean, last year they gave us back numbers that were not correct. So, we know roughly what we spent, and never know which of these is the right one. I'll try to sweat this up in blue. Take on it.
Ooh, that's probably promising.
Yeah, it's short, a little closer.
Oh, it's tape.
Oh, it's not, actually, it's the design of the plug. It just goes out automatically.
No input. Long cord?
Okay, for the 24-25 budget was approved for 4,670. From last June. the compensation, supplies, mileage reimbursement, advertising, and workshops.
Right.
Nobody made a change, right? From that
Yeah,
article?
this is what,
Okay.
yeah, the article is accepted as written.
Okay, so if I'm reading this correctly, 2023, 24 was this amount. planning
Yes,
board.
this is what the town approved. This was what's bent.
Bent,
Yeah,
right? So they had that much left over, so they only had to add the difference.
yes. See, we were not a full house. That's why we were always under budget for our wages.
So- Okay, so they approved 4670. Well. I'd stay
Because
with
they
the same.
found the advertising had not, for when we have our public hearings, had not been coming out of the right line. So that's why they upped it.
Okay,
Because the advertising for any of our hearings comes out of our.
There we go.
There we go.
So we originally requested last year 5,020. What they got put into the warrant was 4,670. So we had 3,720. If we had all 5 people and you hold 24 meetings a year and you're paid so much per meeting, our budget should be around $3,720 for just us. So we had $900 in, but we can put any numbers we want to, right? For office meeting supplies, for notices in the paper, which right, we had 0, training and any mileage reimbursement. So that's how we got to a $5,000 budget. I don't know if we have what the actual spend is. So let me just update this. So this was, let's say, approved 24, 25.
Didn't the supply line get cut?
Oh, everything got cut.
Yeah.
What passed was 4,620, 70. We don't know what the actual spend is as of February 25. We don't know what that's gonna be either. So that's how much we have in the budget this year. I mean, we can call the town office and ask for what our spending is, and we'll see if we get it.
It might be better to put that request in writing so that they can forward it on to Tricia. Cause that's the town treasurer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we could put it for wherever we want to, but we don't know, so let me ask that actually.
now who pays, for the planning board, does the town pay the attorney fees? I mean, like when you send the stuff, it's part of the planning board sending it in, does that come out of their budget, our budget?
Good question. That's been back and forth. At one point, the select board passed originally, we would send a request for ordinance review directly to the attorneys and let the select board know we're doing that. The select board then said, we don't want anybody sending stuff to the attorneys without our approval. So you bring a request to the select board will send it to the attorneys.
Okay,
So,
that makes, okay,
yeah, so I don't know who's being billed for it at the moment, or whose account that attorney time is showing up as. we can find out.
Now, the CEO does a lot for the planning board because he has to approve permits and stuff, but that comes out of probably, he gets a salary from the
Yes,
town.
he has his own budget
Okay,
lines.
okay.
You look through in the warrant, there's for code enforcement.
Fun, fun, fun. I was looking at this the other day saying, oh, we're gonna have to do that soon.
Hmm.
Dom's head's gonna spin.
Huh?
Your head's gonna spin.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your institutional knowledge of by serving on the budget committee.
A lot of fun.
They haven't had a meeting yet.
They haven't appointed us yet.
No.
They would have last week, but then I think there was bad weather and lack of a quorum is
Well,
one.
doesn't the budget have to be in by the end of the year?
The budget has to be in time to be printed for the article, for the warrant for the town meeting, yes. Which isn't till. I think it has to be like June 1st, so many weeks before it's printed. And town meeting has been, pretty sure. Like June, I'm gonna say 14th, I'm not sure. I know at one time they had a date picked.
Where are the hydrants in Canton?
The
Fire
high-
hydrants,
Like there's one on my road
Oh, is there?
in
yeah.
front of my
I couldn't
parents'
notice.
house.
Two, because there's one right up the hill from us.
That's
Yeah.
right, yep.
Captain
The
Canton has
DeGroots, across
one.
from the DeGroots.
The school has one. Across from the green sewer building, there's
I've
one.
never noticed. Isn't that
Dearborn
awful?
Road has one.
You would
that I've
notice if you had to
seen.
use
It
them.
looks
I
like
would.
it's one. It doesn't look like that.
So
That thing.
35,000 for
Yeah,
hydrants, is- what is,
Because this
is
is.
that to
Not a-
put them in, or is that
Yeah,
to
this-
maintain them?
The town, because the fire department. They pay that, is it, do they pay the water to the fire?
They
department?
rent it off the water district. The fire hydrants are rented from the water district.
It costs them $35,000 a year to rent the hydrants?
Apparently, and I think it also includes clearing, right, because what's his
No.
name?
He doesn't get paid to shovel. Or he didn't.
Well, not the water district, but what's his name,
Adley,
yeah, he was over in front of our house the other
he
day.
volunteers to do that.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's very nice of him. That's necessary.
Yes. But I know, like I said, there's one at Captain Canton. I think there's one across from the Baptist church.
Hmm.
Yes, there is. One further down 108, but it doesn't, I don't think it works. But I know school has one across from the green building on 140, the sewer building, there's
I
one.
thought there was one that was shut down, wasn't it the one near the school or something, because it wasn't, they haven't shut.
Oh, no, they
anything
use
down.
they use that to fill the tankers up with,
Oh, okay.
Mm.
if they can't pull off the brook.
They,
Hmm.
they're not supposed to pull up the
They have an emergency,
pipe.
yeah,
What, is that down off of the crossroad?
of Bixby Road,
Bixby, where's that?
sewer plant road. You know where the little
Oh,
green
yeah,
building
yeah,
is?
yeah. Okay.
Off of Whitney Road.
Oh, that's called Bixby Road?
Now, yeah.
I'm gonna get caught up with things here.
The names of the roads, streets have changed through the years.
Hmm. Okay.
It's like Staples Hill Road used to have another name, if I
High
remember.
Street.
High Street.
That's how Main Street used to be, Lake Street.
That makes sense, Lake Street. Was there a Main Street and was that Turner Street or, because it almost feels like Turner Street is like a main street, doesn't it?
Well, 108 changes names, right?
Right, Pleasant Street.
That way,
Yeah,
Turner Street this way.
and Pleasant Street, I know I've seen in old books, that used to be Dixfield Street.
That
Mm,
I
makes
mean-
sense.
Wait a while.
The planning board, I think now, just don't know, we get to name new streets.
Yes.
Oh, when do we get to name one? This will be fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? It would be fun to do that.
Well, I was chuckling when I look at these because I see a lot of them are named after like the developers' kids' names or, you know,
Who lived on them?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Campbell Road,
Tommy York Road, I mean,
yeah.
Bixby.
Those
Well,
are all,
Staples Hill's named after Mrs. Staples. It used to be High Street. And then it was Church Street, I think, at some point. No, High Street, or I know it was High Street. At one point.
well, I've always known it as Staples Hill.
And what,
Mrs. Staples
I
was
think
at the
we're-
bottom, but I know it was High Street.
And-
Yeah, I think we're too young for the high street.
and what was the claim to fame for Mrs. Staples?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, that'll be
I
interesting to
think
find
old
out.
age might have been it.
Oh, okay, well,
Pretty soon we'll have to name it Lineberg.
Oh,
To your
That's right.
grandfather, who will be 100 this year.
yeah, that's
Wow,
right, in
you have-
June.
You having a big party?
Oh, yes, we're holding it in Florida, so even the family from Ecuador can make it as well. It'll be big. I mean, I think we're thinking over 100 people. I forget how many people, but a lot are
I think we
coming.
should plan a little local reception
Mhm.
for him too.
Yeah.
Yes, since he is a
100 years old.
Boston Post.
You know, I think
holder.
that's a really good idea.
That's true.
Would he attend?
If there was, as long as he was available, oh, absolutely. Yeah, he would. Yeah. He's Mopa, you know.
Good for him.
He's so
Yeah.
cute.
He is cute,
said-
he's nice, he's funny, he talks to me in his broken English and I talk to him in my broken Spanish. We have a lot of fun.
I would get nowhere. Oh, that's so
He
cool.
nods like he thinks, like, and I said, I know you don't understand what I'm saying, because my Spanish is so poor. But
Oh,
we
that's,
have fun
that's
anyway.
cute.
All right,
Oh, yeah, she just turned 90. His
good
mother,
genes.
and his mother made it to 100, but I said, you have to go beyond your mother. I said to him.
Good genes.
To make 100, I mean, yeah, we should do something.
Yeah,
Maybe earlier, like May.
Yeah, yeah, I think we should.
He won't be back though until the June thing, I think. He won't be, he's staying in Texas for now with my aunt, but he'll be back. I mean, his house is still there.
Is it because it's warmer down there?
It's because it's warmer, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, because they're kind of lonely during the days here. I mean, in the sense that I go in, but by the time I go in, it's later on and such, so. Yeah, they rotate around, but they will be back.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll also do your mother a note, asking if she knows their schedule when they come back, we'd like to do a community reception.
oh, that'd be fun.
I think that's, I mean, how many, that's a good question. How many people in Canton have made it to 100?
what a view.
Have
No,
they?
mine was 95.
Oh, 95.
That lady was 98, I think, or she was like just a few weeks shy of her 98.
Bernard Adams made it to 103. Colby Walker, who used to live in Canton, he'll be 100 in April.
Wow.
But where does he live now?
New Hampshire. By himself. And the last I know, he still drives, I think, and
Good for him. That's what keeps him going.
yeah, oh yes, his mind is clearer than mine.
Wow.
He just,
That's not saying much.
Oh, my God.
he just sent me a long article about when he worked at the tannery. And his, obviously, because his dad was big in Canton government back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad also was the office
Well,
manager.
that's our
for the
minute, not in
tannery
here, thank
under
God.
Charlie Ray
Oh, really?
I'm looking, it's like,
They were-
not in here.
in Canton.
Yeah.
No, on this one I was.
Oh, that is-
Wow, okay.
There's an article on that too down the road.
That's
Amazing.
great.
All right, the other thing is our report for the year, let me just pull that up real quick and see if there was anything to say about that.
That we are full house.
Mhm.
Oh, and don't forget, papers can be pulled. Or
Yes, Don,
The
you,
two
because
openings
you were appointed to
spots.
fill in,
Yeah,
to get, right now is the time to get papers.
what do I do?
in Monday, come in after, you can pull them starting Monday, she said. And you have to get,
I'll help you get signatures.
yes,
If you get signatures. from people.
How many?
Is it
I'm gonna go 20, was it 25
something
or
like,
10?
I don't know, 25.
and then you
people?
can go up even more, which I like to go a little bit beyond. Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah,
I
I'll do
learned
that.
that lesson from my grandfather back in New York
Yeah.
City. Yeah.
It's a percentage of the number of people who are who voted in the last election, but it tends to be around 25 people.
And they
I was
actually
gonna say, what
cap
are-
people too, though. They actually cap.
Wasn't it the last gubernatorial election?
I believe so.
Yeah, and then you bring the paper in and they check to make sure everybody's registered and all that. Yeah, I can do my neighborhood.
So this was our planning board report in 2024.
Okay, it says, oh, man.
So we can update this to. Under your name, so I
Can we
don't-
put it in bigger print? No?
All right, so we can certainly talk about that we have 5 members, yay.
Yeah,
We'll work on the town's ordinances. We were trying to get everything up to reflect the latest state guidelines. That was, some of our ordinances are still 30 years old.
Yeah.
Time to get those updated. So this year on the town meeting warrant, we expect to see sewer. Sewer cemetery, TA or TE?
E.
And maybe comprehensive plan. I'm not gonna say that.
So on the first sentence, though, we're now a full
Right.
board, right?
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that thought.
The planning board continues to work on the town's ordinances that do not reflect the latest state guidelines.
Oh,
Is
hold on.
in
This,
the
this was a
process.
bulleted thing at one point, the planning board. Continues with the right, state guidelines.
Is in,
Yeah.
in the process.
Hmm.
Reviewing
Process of
all and where appropriate. Where appropriate, recommending changes. You may see a lot of ordinances come up for town vote in the near future. Keep in mind, even a punctuation change from the previous ordinance requires a revote. And this year's town meeting warrant, we expect to see the following ordinances. To vote on sewer cemetery. Now, I mean, I
Oh,
can make this
and-
all a tiny bit bigger.
Should we say reviewing all of them? Just to kind of round it out a bit.
All.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, and where appropriate, yeah, recommending changes. You may use a lot of ordinances. You may see a lot.
And do we want, and maybe capitalization of the T for town vote, just for consistency?
You may see
How about a number of?
a number of, yeah. I like that better.
The Oxford comma. You see this on words, it's what 3 years now. Yes. Degrees.
Well, something went
Oops.
wrong. Three to 0.5 years.
Oh, we've been working on this for a long time.
That's right.
That's a year ago, so it's almost 4 years.
Yeah, we started before COVID.
So this better look really nice.
Okay,
This
we
is
need to
sure.
get this done and get it.
Yes, get rid of
So
it.
you can put in there, we're working on a different one.
So so this, hold on, let me just leave this all in question until we see where we are.
Yeah.
I don't know when she needs this, but.
Well, she
Now,
just
is it-
wanted to put it on radar because some groups or whatever,
Are slow.
yes.
We usually get ours in pretty quickly,
Yeah.
actually, because it's not that complicated.
Now, is it a subcommittee or a committee? Because I thought it was like a committee of our board. I don't know, is it a really? I hate to be nitpicky, but I'm just looking at it, I figure might as well bring it up now as we're drafting that.
Is
It should
what
be
a
committee.
subcommittee?
The report says that it's a subcommittee that's working on the
Oh.
comprehensive plan, but what I'm saying is I think it's I think
It is
confirmed it's a
correct.
committee.
The comprehensive plan committee is its own entity.
Oh,
People can be appointed to that separately from the planning board. You don't have,
Oh.
it doesn't have to be the planning board, but it's supposed to be a committee of the planning board, under the planning board's direction.
well, not too many
Which is why
people are
I call
jump,
it
not
sub.
a lot of people are jumping up for the job.
Over the last 4 years, we've had people who were participating. Scott Kilbreth and his wife Jackie were very, very active in the comp plan. And then COVID hit, and then
Yeah.
their son had a serious accident.
Yeah,
So all that, and then her mother died, right? So who
Oh
got
my
ill, and so there's a lot going on in their lives all at one time.
Yep.
Sherry Vaughn,
Sherry and
Sarah.
Jason Vaughn were involved, up to a point, and then COVID hit as well, and they contributed to one of these chapters and quite a bit and a lot of ideas. I think if we had a brainstorming on where do we want to go from here, I would think that all these people would come out again.
oh, good.
Cindy Vitas, who
That name
lives
sounds
over
familiar.
the dump, works for Maine Housing, or she works right now for, I think, Bangor Housing.
Oh, yeah, I know, I've seen that name, I've seen that
She
name.
was Cindy Wardwell before she married Cole
Yeah.
Vitas. She came and contributed some information, especially on the housing section and some other information. I know she would like to be a part of. If you do brainstorming on where to go, she'd like to be there. Arthur Haynes, who works for Wildwater Communities, which is done by the farm stand on 108 up that road.
Oh, yeah.
They have a huge chunk of land up in there.
Mm.
And he teaches in Portland. He writes books and articles. He does consulting. He's runs sessions where people from all over the country come to these sessions to like learn about living off the land and
Oh,
kind
no,
of stuff. He came through quite a few planning sessions.
he lives off the land. He's off the grid up there, right?
Oh, yeah. But they have solar.
Yeah, but I know UPS goes there every day, or does in the summer.
Up the road?
Well, they have other people. They have a
Yeah.
house. At one point, they had a small house where their family was living, and they had a bigger house, which was like a bunkhouse kind of thing. So people were there for sessions.
Mm.
They can stay there. So I don't know who's.
Mm.
who's living there now.
I just had a couple of other observations. The last word that's highlighted in yellow of committee. Just the way, I'm thinking that might be a capital C because of how we started.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I was kind of struggling with not struggling, but debating in my mind is where it says, you may see a number of ordinances come up for a town vote in the near future. I was wondering, I've heard that phrase, I think, but I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be for a town vote or for a town vote. That I was kind of debating.
For
in
a
my
town
mind.
vote. Wouldn't it be a?
Yep.
Not just town vote, for the towns. comprehensive-
And then the last thing is,
Mhm.
and this could go either way. I think a lot of it comes down to preference, but the very last sentence,
Yep.
do we want to add the Oxford comma like in the United States or stick with
Where would
the
you
way
like?
it's, well, where it says properly documented comma and available to citizens? I know it's okay that way technically, but I know I was debating whether or not we should add the Oxford comma.
I like it if it's got the word and. Personally,
don't,
I take
okay.
it. That-
Oh, okay.
I have
And
struggled.
I think that's the British
I have
approach.
Totally struggled with that, because the way I went to school, you didn't put that in,
You didn't.
you did not.
If
Okay.
it has the word and,
Right,
it's like it's already.
it's already going,
continuity,
so when I was working for Hartford,
okay.
they,
Well,
it's like,
that's fine.
did the law change or something? Did the rules change?
There was actually a Supreme Court case in Maine. I have to look it up, but I heard that it was something that come up to the interpretation of a statute based on whether it was intended to be separate or together because of the absence of the Oxford comma. I have to look up which one that is because
See,
that
I've
would
never
be
heard
good
that term before, Oxford comma.
No,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, well, I think today, isn't mostly everybody doing now the comma? comma
on the
and.
United States.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's in, yeah.
Well,
And I didn't have
I
strong.
go with you.
I
I go
don't
with you.
normally put it, if I'm writing it, I don't put it in.
I didn't either, but I got talked about it. It's like, no, that's
I
not.
would call my friend
That's
Carol,
not.
because my friend Carol's a proofreader extraordinaire. If I have a
Ooh,
question,
yes.
I say.
Yeah,
Wow,
we were not taught that way in
okay.
school. Just, I'm just, you know.
No,
you-
I don't disagree. In fact, I think my mother does what you do.
Yeah, I have always been told, you put the comma, properly documented comma, if you have
That's
another
it.
available to the citizens comma, and you don't put a comma.
Okay.
I mean,
No, I
I'm
don't
not saying it's wrong.
Oh, no, and and I knew both were accepted, so that's why I want to put that out there for the, whatever the board wants to do.
You're right, though.
You're allergic to
Why
it.
do they call it the Oxford comma?
Yeah, why, what's
I'll
that?
have to look up the etymology on that. I don't know where that comes from. And why call it an Oxford comma if they don't do that in the UK?
University that had the like
They-
comparative insight into the use of comma or not.
Oh, that could be.
I went to
They're
there,
very good at it.
and when I was in England, went to Oxford University.
You did?
I did go and visit it, yeah.
Oh, I'd love to.
My daughter spent a semester there.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. And then when I went for work, I went to the. She was in,
Mhm.
And got to, walk around and look and see.
Oh,
My
yeah, 'cause they are
daughter did a
split up that
semester
way.
in England, and she said she'd love to go back to England. She had a great
Emily had a
time.
great time, and I said, why are you enjoying this so much? She said, I think because at her normal college, she's involved in 42 million extracurricular activities. She was only here for a semester and she didn't have a chance
Yep.
to do all that, so she could just study and relax and study and
Yeah,
relax. And so
Robin-
she got a lot of
Robin
studying
loved it.
in.
My daughter loved England.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved it. I was
I've
like,
never been, but I've been to Ireland and Northern Ireland, but I've never been to England.
I went with my niece, actually. She ran the marathon there. And we spent a
Oh,
week
in
and a half
London?
in London,
Oh.
and we spent a week and a half, and we went to Stonehenge, and we went to Oxford, and we went to all the different locations, and went down the Thames River, and we had a blast.
Oh, it sounds like it, yes.
All right. So we'll, let's see where we are in the comp plan and what date Kathy actually needs this by, because we can either leave in the comprehensive plan paragraph or update it.
If we do,
we get
take
closer.
out completed by 24-25.
Right, yeah. That whole paragraph could be done.
We might be
Gotta be-
done.
Well, let's say.
25 is not over.
In
No, but
2025.
24 is.
In 2025, that's what I would put, complete. Having this completed in 2025.
Okay, we can live with that, right?
Yeah,
Even though it may not be done at town meeting. We could do it this year. I'm not giving up on the town meeting yet. But,
But
yeah. Okay.
Oh, one other thing.
Yep.
Next to Don Everly's name, I just noticed that the hyphen was
Hyphen, yeah.
there.
It's not showing up. as-
Oh, and Robbins too.
What is it?
I'm sorry. See these?
And the hyphen is different in my
I
name.
know, I don't know why it's doing it that way.
I don't either.
'Cause you're
It does it to me
special.
all the time. Oh, is that right?
yes,
Oh, okay.
you're new and more special.
Okay, just change all the others and they'll be.
I am.
That'll work.
We will be consistent with you,
We were consistent.
Oh,
okay? We're good now.
it,
So you
the
and I
name
are-
comes from the Oxford University Press where it was traditionally used.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's one, the Oxford Common. So do you have to get papers too? You're a
Yes,
member at large.
yeah, you two are up for.
I would, but I have to do a lot of soul searching. Because there's a period of big transition and I want to make sure that I do the right decision. So it's kind of up in the air right now.
You're a valuable member.
You are
and we-
extremely valuable
contribution
member.
is-
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Seriously,
You are appreciated and valued.
you know.
Well, maybe if I make
you
some
could bring the-
adjustments.
You could bring the baby. You could always-
That's true,
you
that's
could
true.
always bring the baby.
That's
You got people that would be glad to watch her.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, Sarah used to bring her.
To the comprehensive plan
right,
meeting.
yes.
That's
Your
right.
wife is more than welcome to come.
that's true,
Oh.
yeah.
We'll have
So,
a playpen and a Plays in the corner, you know?
Hey,
Emily used to come to meetings with me all the time when she was little. And look at her now. She's in her
Yeah,
40s.
that's right. That's
Very cool.
right.
I have a picture of her in my office, on like a blanket in the corner on the floor, and she's on her back, she's reading a little book.
oh. That's so sweet.
I mean, obviously not anything, but-
It just says papers will be available. This is starting February 28th, but I swear
Oh.
Kathy
You're the
told
one that
me.
keeps everything straight.
Just
Oh.
tonight.
I mean, seriously.
And you've got quite a while before you have to turn them in.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how much time is there to,
Yes, and if if people don't know, Dawn didn't really know you either. I'm happy to take you both around and go like door to door
Yeah.
and meet people and get signatures. We can do it all in one afternoon and be done.
oh, I
I was
appreciate
gonna say, all we
that.
have to do is tell people.
I've done, I
she's
did it
the
last
lady.
time though. I did because I went from appointed to, I am elected now.
Yes.
So I did collect the signatures. That was fun.
Yeah,
It is fun.
So if would he still be member at large then? What does that mean?
That
Yeah,
means
it's
we
not-
represent the whole
you don't have
town.
this, or you don't have,
Oh.
not chair, vice chair, or secretary.
yeah.
And it
Oh, I was
also
wondering
means
if
we
it
don't have
meant that
districts.
I'm not really on the board.
No,
Oh,
Really
Good try, Dawn.
it's all new to me.
Yeah, but we don't, because the whole town votes on us. We don't have like District 1, District 2.
And you're not appointed. I mean, right now, no, other than you've been appointed, but you are appointed as a member at large. So you're not, you don't have an office or position, that's all.
Oh, that's okay.
And it is for two, right? In the sense that it's an election for two openings, right?
Yes,
Correct.
Okay.
yes.
And then maybe other people who take up papers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. You know, hey, maybe they could host a little debate. I don't know if that were the case, you know.
Oh, gosh, that's funny.
Dawn's excited about that.
Cool. All right, so that part is done for
Solid.
this moment.
Got a lot done.
Yeah,
You ran on a roll.
So we said we're gonna do comp plan at the Thursday meeting right now during the winter time and not try to schedule a separate meeting. I know I did hear back from AvCog, the
Hmm,
transportation section we thought was fine. They made a couple of minor changes, so that chapter is good to go. I know I've got your chapter that you sent over the other night, which we can just put in the right format and update a little bit, but.
and there's even more too. I mean, I was going through the table of the US Department of Agriculture. There were even more categories. It's not. In other words, there's more to be said than what's there.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, is it relevant to the town of Canton, you think?
Is it relevant? I don't know. I mean, what I mean by that is everything I pulled up was all for specifically Canton,
Okay.
all those numbers, but. So,
Okay, so do you have an updated version of your document that from the last time you sent it? to
no,
us?
I haven't, I didn't touch it after that point. Yeah,
okay.
to be,
There's one farm name I would add is Beckler. That's on the dump road or Jewett Hill Road.
Beckler Farm.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, he's got kind of
Okay.
stuff.
and the correction be made about
My,
42 Keene Road.
I was
Oh,
working
yeah.
on.
I
finished
think I
that
might have,
today,
I'll just make
And I
sure
was
that
just
make that change.
looking
Well,
at
I
some of
need
the
to explain
blanks.
that
Oh, you
later.
mean the
Yeah.
trust thing?
But when I
Yes, take
did
that
that,
out.
Yeah, yeah.
I pulled up a
I think
chart.
I
it
did,
was
but
on-
I'll double
what
check.
was the-
Yeah.
the,
Beckler Farm.
State
Yeah, BECK.
valuation,
Mhm.
then the municipal valuation,
Hill.
and
And I would check.
from when I got it
Not
from
Frank,
something
but the
different
other
the last
potato.
time, all of the state ones were the same, but on the municipality ones are different.
Crane.
So I updated it. I don't,
You have to just note the source.
Is it under another name that I
Under
have
the-
there?
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
where you got it
Okay.
from.
Oh.
Okay,
I just can't.
Once I find a set that I think is pretty complete, and I feel like it's pretty valid, like some of these, like, might give you a number that's
Yeah,
like.
you're in the right
20,
position.
The number's only 5.
We're doing the
I'm like,
history of.
no, these were a
farms
lot
in
different
also.
right.
in the municipality.
Some of us are.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
it could have been that I misunderstood the first time, but I didn't know. I will do that then. I will put the references.
All that
And
they
then
had,
I
they
will
owned
try
that
to get
property.
that.
But that would
fixed.
have
I
been
don't want
before.
that
when
one
it
just a little
happened.
bit.
Yes,
And
but have the.
it's been a lot of learning curves for me right now.
Isn't that what the
But
family
get
thing?
there.
That's,
Great.
you know, that's
Donnie's
really
quite happy.
special.
That's
We're
good.
working
Oh, good.
on it.
I know Deb was doing
Because
stuff
you
for a
young
little
people
while,
don't
but
know.
partially or whatever, but I know.
That's-
he's
Hey, you
building,
know,
he's
that
growing. If you need
I
somebody
know
to
what I
spend
don't
time, you
know.
can't be
Well,
doing
I
it.
hope I don't.
Well, I'm
that-
only going in,
Um,
3 days a week. Today, this,
I wonder if there'd be
he's
utility
pretty
in
much,
me, because
I mean, I've got everything
said to
all
Carol
set up
Ferris,
and
I said, I
everything,
might
so
be
I'm
reaching
only
out to
going
you to
in
ask you some
days right
questions,
now.
but there'd be
Until
utility speaking to the
He
farmers.
really gets
Yeah.
into gear,
You
know, things-
Good sources.
get together, so.
Right,
Cool.
Yeah,
is Brian in the farm this time, or is his
Yes.
family?
family.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so, Dawn has been updating her section. She found some different sources, very different numbers, so we're gonna look at those.
Oh.
Perhaps if you want another set of eyes to look at those
Okay,
two pieces of numbers, we're happy to do that, but if you just document. These numbers came from this source, then it's replicatable next time around.
okay.
Oh, and by the way, so on that front, were you able to, I haven't looked at it, but one of the things that one time I had a question and I brought it up to Scotty Kilbreth, I said, okay, I know what's in the warrant. I know what the recommendations were. How do I know what was voted on? And then he was able to show me something. So he was a good reason. But then again, your sister would know because she was the town clerk. I mean, she would know like how to track things down, right? In essence.
I've been doing everything online because I
Mhm.
shouldn't say this, because the one person that I had approached has never gotten back to me.
Oh, that's terrible.
That would give me all the information that I would need. So I've just been pulling things up for the state of Maine and town of Canton records that are posted online.
On the town website or
Of
the,
the town, either the town
Oh.
website or the town book, or like you can do like the Maine municipality, you
Yeah.
go by, they have everything by town and different things like that. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
Yep, yeah, so when I was doing the data before, I found I just cited my source because you go to a different source, you get two very different sets of numbers. So
I
you
got
can-
frustrated today. I have to be honest with you. I was like,
Yeah.
because I was just reviewing stuff. And I was like, oh God, no, I didn't make that big of a mistake. And I was just reviewing stuff and I got frustrated. I said, okay, I'm stopping. I'm just stopping at this point.
So
Mhm.
I need to clarify on my section,
Mhm.
exactly what does that mean?
What is-
Or,
Which section do you have again?
it's on the table, town services and facilities, I think.
Oh, would that be like the ATV trail?
No.
That's not what that is.
No,
No, that was not part of mine.
oh,
Oh,
I was gonna do it, but then you didn't have one.
You have public facilities and services.
yes. So I was talking with someone and their thoughts were entirely different than mine.
Hmm.
So,
So let me find you the last version of public facilities and services. From 2004. Here is what public facilities look like. Page 8.
That's in the stuff you sent us, right?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's the old one.
Hold on, I'm waiting for it to catch up. Not catch up. There we go. It's only page 1 of 1, but I know there's more pages here. 8.
You can go cross-eyed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
In this stuff.
Okay, so public facilities. Starts. Backing up. Public facilities. And we said we don't need to necessarily be, these were a lot of documentation because we hadn't been done for a long time. So it talks a little bit about town government, what positions we have in the
Okay,
town, what are elected
that's-
officials. A little bit about it's a short paragraph there on the public buildings, highway department. Fire protection and resources, dispatching,
that's what I thought.
blah, blah, blah. I mean, I can't print this to this thing
No,
right here.
I've
but-
got a copy of the old one at home.
This particular one, I think, did text recognition, it seems like, the way some of the words like
Well,
down
this
at
was
Carlson
a
or something.
PDF Converted to Word,
Yeah,
that's why. We have the original PDF. which I
Right.
can give you as well, but this it's converted to Word, so it's not useful. Necessarily. So it talks a little bit about education, what are, we still had the elementary school. At the time this one was written. So that whole thing goes away necessarily, because we don't need to document mid junior high school projected enrollments.
Now, if you wanted me to, I could do that section.
Oh, I can ask my next door neighbor for numbers. Brian Keane.
Well, and
because
some
he
of
works
that's,
in the district.
we get that,
Charity
I
service.
got that district newspaper, electronically last year from them. They had the budget in it.
Oh,
And it
yeah,
also
that's
said how
getting
many
ready.
students from the town and
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. So it talks about public health and social services.
Where did you get that? What is that from the schools? Oh,
They
when
don't
it
mail
gets
it
ready
out
for
anymore?
budget, they do the school budget, which we'll vote on in June.
mm,
Do they still mail out the?
Yes.
this is
Oh,
summary
okay.
of Canton waste.
This is our
Oh.
waste, how many tons of waste we generated?
That
every
was
year?
back when we could use Jay's dump.
Right, I mean, but we still
Well, I
should,
can't-
I think we should still track how many tons of waste we generate as a town. That'd be cool to know.
Between the dump,
They must-
or well, the
Yeah.
regular and the big cleanup. Is what,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The yearly
I
cleanup.
mean, I mean, here was.
Well, they probably could they tell you by what, they must have to pay per tonnage.
Yes, they
I
do.
do.
must
They have to,
yeah.
they figure that, they go by that when they figure out this budget for the transfer station.
So it's a picture of the water system. Look at that.
Mhm.
So that's it. I mean, it's section 8
Okay.
in the old one.
What section was mine?
Finances, we were section 9.
9.
Yep.
Number 9.
Which had the valuation and taxation. This was done in 2004, but it only went up to 2001 at the time. So I think it would be a lot more relevant.
Well, I've done it now from 2015 to 25, 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
Perfect.
But see, that's the one right there, municipality. Those are the numbers that changed dramatically in when I looked up today
Oh,
from what I had.
And
Well, so
that
these
says
came
State
from,
Bureau of
yeah,
Taxation.
State Bureau of Taxation is where these.
Do they help you out?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back tomorrow. I just got really frustrated.
I'm sorry to hear.
I was just like, what?
I agree. I mean, when I was first going through the census data, it took me forever to learn how to use the census tables to get to the piece you wanted.
Well, then you try to copy it so that, because they've got every single town in Maine under by county. So then you try to get just Canton,
You can click on it and get that narrowed down.
I tried copying and pasting.
Advanced search.
Advanced search. I mean, oh God, I'll get it. I'm sure.
You can't get near it. At one point, I remember my husband was like, what's going on? I said, I got the table exactly how I wanted on the X and Y axis.
Yep.
In the correct format. I was like, woohoo. And then you can export. You can export your data too. So once you get the data table, like one time in the census data, I found the data I wanted, but you're right, we had too much other crap in the
Crap in it.
table. I just exported the whole table and just deleted all the columns I didn't want and kept just the ones I did.
Oh, because I was just highlighting and only printing what I wanted, you know, and then it's so tiny, so I had to enlarge it. It was like, okay, I quit.
Exactly.
I'm
I just
just
exported the
today.
whole table and just got rid of all the columns I didn't need. And it's like, oh, look at how readable this is now.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. Maybe I'll do it that way. Actually, I've updated that table today, so.
All right. So at our next meeting, we should, I will try between now and then to take what we've got already, kind of get it formatted and see if we can actually put it together as a draft document and say, this is what we're working with now, not just little chapters and bits and pieces and tables, but here's a document, here's the pieces we still need.
Okay.
And we
so-
probably should think at this soon about how do we convert from data collection, which is all this inventory stuff at the back end, to the,
So is every chapter covered?
I do believe so. That's not that one. Hold on, I just had that open a second ago. Assignments. Yes.
Okay.
Are we going to try for March 3rd for the next meeting, or just leave it for our regular
I
meeting?
think we should just leave it on Thursdays. because We
Okay.
don't have enough other. dates to
Weather
discuss.
permitting,
We can
okay.
do that here.
So so the first and
There are
third,
no more Mondays. but-
first and third.
Basketball's over, so I have more free time.
I did talk to Jason Vaughn and them and about their what do they call it? I saw it up there. I keep calling capital expenditures and that's not it.
Reserve account.
Oh,
No, what-
capital investments.
What they want in the future, what you have to put money aside for.
His
was it-
reserve account.
No,
No,
no. They're
Just hope and
projected what they
dreams.
might, huh?
Capital needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're what they want in the future. And you're on the board, but this is what has come up. And I tried to get a hold of Andy, but he's.
Andy's
So,
been living on the Canton Point Flats
yeah,
and 108 Flats.
yeah, he's been really busy, but they told me
Poor boy.
that his truck has been down a lot.
Yes,
So I'm assuming that
Yes.
might be a capital, what do they call it?
A capital need.
Capital need where they have to put money
No.
aside,
Or-
maybe?
Those are reserve accounts.
that's what the reserve accounts are for. We just got a new 1-ton because someone wrecked the old one, the previous
The
one.
pickup truck,
Huh?
a pickup truck?
No, the small 1-ton plow truck. We have 3. The smaller one, like they plow out
Oh,
back of my house and the smaller roads, Ranger Mill Road and
Right.
that got wrecked last year. And they just replaced that. But I do know his big trucks had a lot of breakdowns, like the last horrible storm we had, he was broke down on the Canton Point Flats. Kind of a crowd, yeah.
so my question is like. They're still looking at trying to get the old elementary school down through a grant, right? So that wouldn't be a need, a future need.
Yeah, Sean Goodrow's been looking into, has been working on that.
Yeah. Okay, so that wouldn't be a need. That's written down here.
Well, I mean, we can always put in stuff like that in
Yeah.
the overall plan, and then you can always take it out, like, if they get that done before this plan actually gets, gets implemented, we can take out that little piece that says,
Okay, he
Yeah.
put,
take it down to school.
needing replacement to replace our brush truck in the near future and researching possibly a new fire truck.
We just got the one.
I thought so. Okay, okay.
Well, researching, like, how long?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it took them a year to get,
Oh, more than that, more than a year to get that truck.
yeah,
Once they found it, which took them a while, and it
Oh,
was,
here we
it
go. No, it's
took a
fine.
long time to get that.
yeah.
I did. So I didn't, okay. Can you guys think of anything else?
I don't
Well, I know, okay, would it be the culvert on
Judah.
Jewett Hill? Would that be? a possible
No,
need?
that's gonna get done. The one that,
Well, they said,
It was damaged in the flood.
which meetings, I think it was,
I know there's one on Jewett Hill Road that Andy wants to replace whenever the road thaws out.
well, I was told by, can look at, Carol Ferris, because I had talked to her about it, that they were gonna put that on hold because of the river road.
Oh, that, if I remember right. They want, and it'll take a bond to redo all of Jewett Hill Road.
Oh, they wanna do the whole thing?
Yes, because it's in such bad shape, but immediately, weather permitting, there is a culvert they need to replace
Right.
that's collapsed. But yes, a river road has now kicked everything to the curb because it's going in the river. They got Jersey barriers blocking.
So I don't think we have to decide priorities. We can say, these are all the items that are on, kind of on the wish list of things that we want to do,
That need to be done.
need to be done. Yeah.
Okay. So
Then
how about
again,
everybody put their heads together and just send me a list of what you think would go on it? And then I have what they told me,
Does the sewer department?
And we
have
could
any
put it down
vehicles or
as-
Something,
They have a pickup
projected
truck.
needs
Mhm.
They don't.
versus,
use it.
um,
Do they-
It matters to
Okay.
know.
expenditure to save money. So which,
Do they need?
projected
in
needs
the future?
versus wish list.
When he's gone.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Projected needs versus wish list.
Well, and I think sewer upgrades is going to be on there too. 'Cause we
Yeah.
have our aging sewer plant that needs.
Sewer upgrade,
Yeah,
water.
water's not a town entity.
Oh, okay, that's right. I keep forgetting that.
I know.
Don't you? Why don't they just combine it with the sewer and water? Oh, no, okay, I better not say, it's probably opening a can of
The
worms.
town, I don't believe the town wants to take on the responsibility of the.
Yeah.
districts.
Okay. Okay,
All right, so at our next meeting, I will take anything you've sent me in the next 10 days. So in 14 days, I will put that together for the next
I
meeting.
will get it to you
And
next.
I'm gonna format them, see what we've got. And then I'll start, I dug out all the notes from the last brainstorming we had that talked about kind of the vision piece, so I'll draft kind of what we think we have for a vision as well. And then we'll, hopefully if we have something in front of us to edit, it's a little easier than just creating it from scratch. I know somewhere I've got a button that says, writing is easy, you just stare at the piece of paper until blood droplets form on your forehead.
No.
Oh my God, that's funny.
All right,
Let me show you.
Anything else?
All right, I gotta show you my grandkids. Closing, this is their,
Oh,
this in North Carolina. That's big snow for North Carolina. That's behind their house. Let's see.
So
Yeah,
where are
but
we
the
at
hills
on the
are-
cluster?
Yeah,
house?
they're, let's see.
that has taken a backseat to comp
Let's
plan.
see.
Okay,
There, there's four of them. That's my granddaughter. That's the back of their house. They're on a golf course,
Oh, nice.
so are we
so that's where they're.
ready to adjourn?
We are.
Madam Chair. Oh, what's that?
Because we're on Zoom. Let's adjourn.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor? We adjourned at 7:36.
Is this a receipt for something?
That's mine.
Oh,
It's grab paper that I'm writing down the new password for the.
oh,
The computer, if we don't use it every so often, it. forces
change you, oh. So do you have to give that to someone?
I wrote it on this little piece of paper here. Let me close out of this meeting.
Are we due for any more snow anytime
Yeah,
soon?
next week, maybe. Snow or rain on Wednesday, I think.
I hope not rain. I'd rather have snow than rain, because that all just turns to ice.
I would like it to warm enough. There's too much ice on the river. Way too much ice on the river.